morning. Now for the fun part. I'd like to begin with a few questions for you. Do you wish you could be more successful in your school? Could you use ideas to stop just wishing to be amazing? Are you ready to get excited to achieve more? If the answer was yes to any of these questions, you are ready to be amazing. If the answer is no, then you're all in serious denial. Our speaker today is an award-winning operations leader and a veteran of more than 25 years in high-tech manufacturing. He is also fearless in go-kart racing, a loving uncle, the dog dad of 2 Dalmatians, Rudy and Pete, and helping us to dare to be amazing. Please join us, all the way from Harrison City, Pennsylvania, speaker, coach, and a man who prefers to wear his hair on his chin instead of his head, Mr. Eric Kulikowski.
Well, good morning, Minnesota. Good morning, Minnesota SNA. How are we today? Good? Good. You ready to be amazing today? All right. Vicki, thank you so much for the great introduction and for inviting me. I'm honored and humbled to be here with all of you great people here in St. Cloud. And you know, I love the theme of the conference, Dare to be Amazing. I like to believe I dare to be amazing every day, and I would suppose you all do too, because you're here, right? And trying to learn new ways of managing your programs and working with each other and supporting your students, and I applaud you for all of that. And I especially like the fact that we're here talking about food today, because my favorite meal is the next one I eat. So food is big deal to me today. So, you know, I dare to be amazing every day, and we're going to talk through some ways today that you too can dare to be amazing when you go back to school in less than a month, from what I understand here in Minnesota. So you're in the home stretch. The easy part of summer is over, I guess. And so through some stories today, we're gonna travel a couple of journeys today. And you know, when you think about dare to be amazing, people will often ask me, Eric, when you dare people to be amazing, what are you daring them to really do? Well, I'm daring you to be brave. And I'm daring you to step over that line into that world where you're terribly uncomfortable. And I'm daring you to get in motion and stay in motion. And that's what I mean by dare to be amazing. And, you know, truth be told, you just never know when opportunities are going to arise where you're going to be given the chance to be amazing. And I had one of these opportunities happen to me at 6:52 a.m. on a Sunday morning. I was still in bed. It wasn't time to get up to go to church yet, and it wasn't time to let Rudy and Pete out yet. They were both still sleeping too. But I got this text message from my friend Barb. What are you doing the first week of March? You want to climb Kilimanjaro? Two things came to mind right away whenever I got this text message from Barb. First thing was, don't you realize it's 6:52 in the morning? You shouldn't be texting a single guy on a Sunday morning at 6:52. It's not a good thing. And the second thing is, I don't even know where Kilimanjaro is. I've heard of it, but I don't know where it was. I'm an engineer, not a geography major, right? But I was curious, so I hit Barb back and said, really? I'm kind of interested. Tell me more. And she said her husband Raj and friends were going to be meeting later in the week to discuss the program, and so we continued our little text string at 6:53 and 6:54 in the morning, and eventually I got invited to the meeting on Wednesday of that week to talk about climbing Kilimanjaro. And so you just never know when those opportunities are going to hit you, right? That you just have to look around you and they're there. Those opportunities are there for you to make a difference in both your life and other people's lives. But the conditions weren't all beautiful. It wasn't all tacos and Oreos going up here, right? We had some really strange conditions. This was actually quite dangerous as we were crossing a waterfall to get up the mountain. And we were going through snow conditions. And It wasn't the type of terrain that we trained on. It wasn't the type of conditions we trained on, but we knew we were going to get there. And it reminded me of my friend Amanda, who once told me when I first started doing adventure athletics, she said, Eric, you just need to learn how to suffer more. You don't know how to suffer well enough. I think what she was trying to say to me is, dude, you complain too much. You need to learn how to suffer more. And so we suffered a lot together on the mountain because our conditions were changing every day. So I truly believe that when we focus on our behaviors first, when we're daring to be amazing in your schools and with your teammates and with those students that you support so well every day, when you focus on your behaviors, the results are going to come. People will notice. And this is the journey we're going to take today to talk a little bit more about how focus on your behaviors and letting people know that you care will create the results that you're looking for, and it will also help you build confidence in yourself so that you can be employee of the year or you can be director of the year in 2020 or 2022 or 2024. Make sense? Yeah? Whatever it is. So look, hey, life isn't all rainbows and unicorns, right? Your job isn't all rainbows and unicorns, and maybe it looks a little bit like this. You know, being a food service professional is easy. It's like riding a bike, except the bike's on fire, you're on fire, everything's on fire, and you're in hell. Can I get an amen? Maybe, just maybe, you've experienced a day like this. I don't know. I'm guessing. Right? So it's not all rainbows and unicorns. You have those days, those hours, those minutes where you're just at your rope's end and you're not sure what to do. Right? It's tough to dare to be amazing when you're on fire and everything else is going on. But I ask you the question, and we're going to talk about this a bit more in the Empowered Manager program this afternoon. How do you know you're having a good day? It's something I ask my clients all the time when I first meet them, or I go into a factory I've never been in before. I'll ask a few people around and just see, how do you know you're having a good day? What does that look like for you? And this journey in 2017, because this was before Kilimanjaro, changed my life like I never expected. I saw people dig so deep in a way that I have never seen before to get themselves to victory, to finish this amazing thing that they dared to do. And again, it happened as a team. My friend Dana, she was having a bad day on day one, and I said to her what Michael said to me. I said, Dana, let me carry your pack. And I carried Dana's pack for 5 hours that day on top of my pack. And you might think that I was showing her that I cared. But she was in a bigger way showing me that she cared. Because throughout those 5 hours, she was making sure I had enough food and water. She shared her food with me. When my bladder ran out of water, she gave me her water. And she walked right with me all 5 of those hours. About every 10 minutes saying, you all right, Eric? You okay? The whole way. And meanwhile, I was supposed to be helping her. Right? And right before the finish that day, about a half hour from the finish, I said, Dana, how you feeling? You think you can take your pack for just maybe half a mile? She said, yeah. I said, good. I want you to finish carrying your pack today. I don't want us to finish with me carrying your pack. The grit that we see every day, and you see it in your worlds too, the determination that people have, the commitment they have to serve you, to serve their students, and to serve the faculty. That's what we're talking about here today, right? So we built some incredible relationships and some lasting, very long-lasting personal interactions inside of that canyon. It's what it took for us to get out of there. And very quickly, our individual goals turned into team goals. We might have been there because we trained as individuals. We might have been there to get across the canyon. That was our goal, and take a selfie on the other side. But it very quickly turned into a team goal. We all started together. We all wanted to finish together. And did you ever feel like this at the end of a day? This was a couple of our trail angels and Piper in the hat there. She's a fireman in San Diego, came along with us. This was about a mile from the finish on day 2, so we were almost done. We were spent. But we were all still there to let each other know that we care and we're going to help you. And actually, the woman crouched down. She was getting ready to take care of Jack's feet, who's laying next to her. The entire journey for 2 days, Jack was footman. He took care of everybody else's feet. At that moment, Amanda was going to take care of his because he needed some help. So we found all these different ways to show that we cared. We shared food, we shared water, we shared conversations, we shared life stories. We even shared our iodine pills when the water sources weren't working. There's 3 water sources along this hike, and 2 of them weren't working. We had to drink the water out of the Colorado River. And so we shared our iodine because we didn't come prepared for that, right? So I want to ask you a question. Now that I've told you this story about the Grand Canyon and the grit that we saw there, I want to ask you a question. When was the last time you had the opportunity to step up and be more, and you didn't say yes? You didn't flip the switch to say, I want to dare to be amazing today. We have those opportunities present themselves to us every day, regardless of who we are or where we're at. When was the last time you had the opportunity to be amazing and you didn't take it? I want you to think about that the next time that you get that opportunity to be amazing. You know, my strongest mantra I live my life with, besides dare to be amazing, is be bold or don't bother. Be bold or don't bother. And I want to tell you a little bit about, through some stories of people that have impacted my life and been a part of my life, what I mean by be bold or don't bother. And, you know, I told you earlier what I mean when I say dare to be amazing, and there's kind of 4 things, 4 points, 4 steps you can go through when you're trying to be amazing, and they're these. Define your goals with clarity, develop a plan to achieve those said goals, drive decisions that matter, and then embrace significance, right? Make yourself significant. And for today's purposes, Vicki, we're going to focus on make ourselves significant. And we're going to look at some stories where people who have made themselves significant. And what does it mean to be significant? Well, it's sufficiently great or important to be worthy of attention. It means that you've done something noteworthy, right? That's significant, that you put yourself outside your comfort zone. You step over that line and say, okay, I'm ready to be uncomfortable. Let's go at it, right? And it can mean all sorts of different things: noteworthy, crucial, unusual, notable, serious, remarkable, whatever. Lots of words for significant. But I want to tell you a couple stories of people that impacted my life in an incredibly significant way. This first one happened just last Tuesday morning. I had done a workout that morning, and I was going to Giant Eagle, which is our local grocery store in Pittsburgh. It's the biggest grocery store chain in Pittsburgh. And I was walking down the aisle, and there's a young mother and about a 4-year-old girl. And she's walking right towards me, and I thought, does she not see me? I mean, I'm not tiny. You know, Penny, where are you? You and I are kind of the same height. We're tiny, but we're not that tiny. And she's walking right at me, and then I realized she's making eye contact with me. She's actually walking towards me. Little girl about this big. She walks up to me. She has a little Ziploc bag in her hand. She reaches into that bag, and she gives me this. She looks up at me and just hands this up. And I said, thank you, sweetie. You just made my day. There's nothing better today that can happen than what you just did for me. In her little way, her little 4-year-old cute way, without saying a word, she said to me, old man, I care. Right? Because in her eyes, I'm just a short, fat, bald old man, right? But she was saying, I care. I want to help you have a better day. In her eyes, this was probably a really big deal. And it was. But man, was it simple. Dirt simple. She never even said a word to me. She dared to be amazing that morning, and her mom helped her do it. They were a team. And she gave me this little smiley face, which now rides with me in my wallet. I carry it with me. She told me that morning, because she dared to be amazing, that she cares. I want you to believe that you can make things better through the little things. Our goal isn't to be perfect. Our goal isn't to make your school or your school district or your cafeteria perfect. Our goal is to just be better than we were yesterday. That's all we can do. No matter how old you are, no matter how experienced you are, no matter what your title is in the organization, you have that opportunity to make today better than yesterday. You can dare to be this much more amazing. That's all we need. We're not asking you to climb Kilimanjaro, right? East Suburban Sports Medicine Clinic. This is my physical therapy practice that I go to. And my therapist is named Annie Urso. I've been going to Annie for a number of years for knee problems, shoulder problems, plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendon problems. I'm a mess. So Annie's awesome. And Annie explains things to me in a way that I can understand. It isn't all the Latin and the Greek and the medical terms that the people in the medical community use. She explains it to me in a way that I can understand. She also wants to know about me. The entire time we're working together, we're having a conversation. I don't know about you, but generally I don't like going to physical therapy because it hurts a lot. Annie gives me the inspiration to want to go to physical therapy. And because Annie spent so much time trying to understand who I am and what my goals are and just what my life is all about, she also shared with me about her. And Annie's married. She has a great husband. She has 2 children. Their favorite activity is to go camping with Annie's mom and dad. Her favorite dessert is brownies, and her favorite football team is the Baltimore Ravens, which is not an easy thing to do living in Pittsburgh. Right? And so on my last days, anytime I'm finishing up therapy with Annie, because I know her favorite dessert is brownies, I make a batch of brownies and take them to her. Annie, through her work, has told me that she cares about my experience. Yeah, she cares about my medical outcome, my physical outcome for sure. But she cares just as much, if not more, about my experience. And you all have experiences and create experiences every day with your teammates and with the students and the faculty. What can you do to be more like Annie Urso and show that you care? I don't know what the story is for all of you in your lives, because I don't. We talked about this last night, right? Right, Vicki? And Deborah, wherever Deborah is at, Deborah and I talked about it last night. Oh, there you are. We talked about it last night too. When you interact with people, you just don't know what their story is. And in David's life, his story was, I have to keep being an influence in people's lives. I have to keep caring about people. I have to keep letting them know that I'm okay. I don't know what's going on in your life. I think through David's example, we can all take the opportunity today to let somebody know that we care. Is that fair? You guys with me on that? Yeah? Good. So let's bring this thing to a close here, because I'm standing between you and lunch. And I suspect you all know a little bit about lunch and the importance of lunch, right? So we're going to get out of your way. So, I never really had that personal connection, that respect for how much impact it can have when somebody does little things for you to tell you that they care, until after my wife Cindy passed away. When Cindy passed away, my emotions really came to the surface a lot closer, and my antennas got a lot stronger to understand what was going on. And so she really, through her passing and through her journey and through the actions of others, it was really great to understand how other people care. And I want you to know, walking out of here without a shadow of a doubt, that I make a difference, that I do what matters, and that I let all of those around me know that I care. My name is Eric Kulikowski, and I dare to be amazing every day. Thank you for your time and your attention. It's been a pleasure. What's that?
I'm a hugger, so
Oh,
you get
good.
on.